Okay, today I'd like to do a review on the Tudor Heritage Chronograph Gray. Reference number is 70330N. I've had this now for probably about 3 or 4 months, and just a stunner, really sharp looking watch. I saw this watch when it first came out and when Tudor first reintroduced their watches to the United States market again, probably back in 2010, I'm thinking. But I fell in love with it. I was down in Boston with one of my best friends who's also a big watch collector, and I saw this and I was just like, wow, what a great watch. The watch I actually saw was just like this, except it had the black dial with gray subdials. But the more I looked at this watch, the more I wanted the gray dial. I'm just really, really happy with it. Love the vintage orange accents and just the vintage look to it. The changes from, I guess, the watch of yesterday it's a little bit bigger. And I do have a comparison. I've also videotaped and reviewed this watch before too, which is my Tiger Tudor Prince chronograph. And if you look at the size, the Prince chronograph is about 40 millimeters, and the newer Tudor Heritage chronographs are 42 millimeters. The difference from the vintage models is that the vintage model did have the date at the 6 o'clock, but it also had a cyclops to show the date larger, which would be a nice touch. I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I want to do that or just keep it the way it is. I mean, the crystal is really nice. It's a sapphire crystal, slightly raised from the bezel, as you can see. But this is just a great watch. It's got a pretty neat movement. It's a 2892 with an added chronograph on top, the Dubois, Deprave. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's what it is. And it's pretty accurate. The power reserve on this is about 38 to 42 hours, I'm guessing. Tudor says it's 42, but not as good as the Black Bay. But either way, I'm just very happy with this. It really does have a nice touch to it. The other models that they offer are the black dial, the gray subdials, and they offer a blue model too. And when the blue model first came out, I was kind of sold on getting that one, but where I have a blue Black Bay at the moment, I wanted to get something a little bit different, and this is definitely, it fits the description of what I wanted to get. And just, again, it's got a nice oyster case, oyster bracelet. The crown, I'm kind of like, that's probably the only thing I'm a little hesitant about. And it almost was kind of like a make or break for me when I first was going to get this, but just because it's just so well built and it really does have that vintage yesterday look, I went ahead and did it anyway. But as you can see, the crown's kind of knurled versus the traditional Rolex crown on the older models, and even the pushers have screw-in crowns too. But and this one has cabochon crown. And also on the pushers as well too. And I've heard that these can come off. I've had one of my friends on Facebook email me about that, and I hope it doesn't happen to mine, but I don't really plan on beating this up too bad or wearing it in the water and so forth. I'm just going to use this for its traditional purpose. The neat thing about this watch, though, is that the bezel, it looks kind of like a diver's bezel, but if you turn it a certain way, what it really does is it adjusts the time. So it serves as like a dual time zone. And right now it shows it at, you go by the hour, so it looks like it's almost 1:30, but you could change the bezel this way and make it to like almost 2:30. So that's kind of a neat function. If you know someone on the West Coast or in a different country and you're trying to communicate with them, you can kind of pretty much tell what their time is, what time they go to bed, what time they wake up, and so forth. But the other thing about this watch that I really enjoy is I enjoy the home plate indices. As you can see, the reason why they call them the home plate is because they look like baseball home plates, which is a really nice feature as well too. It does have a 45-minute chronograph function at the 9 o'clock, and then the second hands is on the 3 o'clock side, which the original, I believe, was backwards. The chronograph was on the 3 and the seconds was on the 9, but I guess I had to swap it up a little bit differently. But again, just a really cool watch. I'm glad I got it. I've had it for probably about 3 or 4 months now, and kind of just was an impulse buy, but I've been wanting it for so long now, and it's my third Tudor, and I'm probably just going to stick with the 3 watches that I have. I promised my wife the year of 2018 I would not be buying any new watches, so I'm kind of on a freeze. But that's about it for today. Again, I just wanted to do the side-by-side comparison so you could see the difference in size. Not a whole lot bigger. I was kind of hoping maybe these new watches that they came out with would be a little smaller, just to keep them more in the vintage, size and so forth, because 40 is my sweet spot, but 42, 43 is probably about the largest I can go with. And, having this and this older vintage watch here, and then the Black Bay, just really great, trio. So on that note, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.